Tax cap. The news begins right now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And a good Tuesday morning to you. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And we have a lot to get to this morning, but we want to get a check of the Storm Tracker 2 forecast first. And a little bit chillier this morning than it was yesterday, but yes. Folks certainly enjoyed what we had yesterday, and I think they're going to like what's coming up too.
Yes, today it's going to be even warmer. It starts out colder. In fact, it's looking mainly dry as well to start. A look outside right now. As you mentioned, yes, it's cooler than yesterday morning. We are bottoming out below freezing in parts of central New York. So with the temperatures falling below the 32-degree mark, a heads up just to watch out for some icy spots heading out the door. But again, it's pretty isolated. As you look out to the west, it's in the 40s, 49 in Buffalo, 45 Rochester, even 47 up in Watertown. And a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Things are quiet all across the board this morning. The next 12 hours, how about this? We go from the 20s and 30s up into the 60s by this afternoon. Now, it won't be a very long stretch above 60 degrees as a cold front rolls through tonight. And that'll cool things down into the overnight hours, back into the 30s tomorrow. So just giving you an early heads up, the 60-degree weather is not going to last all too long, at least initially. But it'll slowly work its way back into the weekend. But along with that, too, there's potential for rain, even still some snow showers in the near-term forecast. We'll explain when and how much in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. New overnight, the Russian military says air defense.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Tuesday morning. The time now is 5:12, and today it starts out cold, but warmth is on the way again this afternoon with dry weather for the most part and plenty of sunshine. Now, a few more clouds roll in later on in the day with potential for a few sprinkles, but besides that, we can see outside right now, roadways looking clear. Again, watch out for a few icy spots on untreated surfaces as some of those temperatures have dipped a little bit below freezing. The area looks mainly quiet when it comes to traffic on our traffic flow information right now, but just a heads up, in parts of near Marcy in North Utica, crash on Morris Road near Ronald Place. Of course, it's on one of those side roads, so this won't affect traffic all too much here across the region. Radar looking mainly quiet, and again, today, plenty of sunshine to start this afternoon. Increasing clouds as temperatures peak near 60. Then things cool down tonight. We are on a cooler trend for the middle of the week, but warmer days are ahead. We have a full look at that forecast straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thank you. Officials have determined that...
Swell your day. Watch for the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast and be ready for your drive to and from work. The Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast is brought to you by the Pratt Munson College of Art and Design. Visit Pratt Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, on this Tuesday. I hope everyone had a great day yesterday with all that sunshine and warmth, and we've got more of it today. However, it's going to be short-lived. We'll see a cool down by tonight and into tomorrow. But let's take a look at downtown Utica right now. It's a quiet start to your day today. Some hazy skies as high pressures keeping all that atmosphere and all the inversion near the surface, and that, of course, is producing that haze. 29 and clear, a southeast wind of 6 miles per hour, and with that south wind, likely those hilltops south of the Mohawk Valley are likely warmer than locations shielded by the wind. That's causing what's called radiational cooling, and that's allowing those temperatures in the lower elevations to cool down quicker. The radar, as of now, is entirely quiet, and aside from a few sprinkles later on this evening and tonight from an approaching cold front, we're really looking at a mainly dry stretch leading into tomorrow night when our next shot of rain and snow moves in. Around the northeast, you can see here, by today, high temperatures approach near 60, already near 70 in central Pennsylvania, as well as parts of the Midwest. However, you can see here that cold front is going to work its way in, and that's going to cool things down temporarily, though. You see here that cold air works its way out as soon as it arrives, and we'll slowly see a warming trend later on this week. But again, today, highs approaching near 60. Wind speeds today a little bit more on the windy side, and again from the south. So a south wind usually is a warmer wind than anything from the northwest or even from the north. In fact, with the dry weather today and plenty of sunshine, I know a lot of you might still have a lot of treatment on your cars from all the sand and salt in the roads. Great weather to do it today. Maybe not so much tomorrow with the colder weather, but on Thursday we slowly warm our way back up again. And then lastly, when it comes to springtime, only 9 days away. Looking forward to that, which takes place on March 20th. And beyond that, of course, our sunrise times will get even earlier. And so, on our Skycast today, plenty of sunshine across the board. As we head throughout the overnight, this cold front rolls through, clouds and a few sprinkles. Temperatures fall into the 20s and teens. Then we're back into the mid-30s to low 40s tomorrow, a round of rain and snow, and then things quiet down again throughout much of the day on Thursday as our highs climb even warmer into the mid-40s. Then upper 50s by Friday, and for Saturday, it is trending more on the dry side, which is great news, fantastic news for St. Patrick's Day Parade festivities. I likely think those temperatures will be in the 40s and 50s by parade time, which of course beats a couple years ago. I mentioned to Ben yesterday afternoon, my first time in the parade, it was a lot of snow, wet snow on the ground. It was not fun to walk in. But
no, and so if this holds true, it'll be a good one.
Yes.
And I want everybody out along the side of the road to thank, I mean, Bill won't be there, unfortunately, but they want to thank Eric Gage, because you guys get the heat when it does rain and snow. So you want it should be a good time. But I think what's also key is, with the temperatures going so low this morning, more of a slower thaw.
Yes.
Which is really what we were talking about last week. We really need to have. So hopefully that holds true as well. All right, thanks, Eric. Check in with you again shortly. More than 200 can sound.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us this half hour. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
Let's start this half hour with a check of that forecast. A little bit chillier this morning than it was yesterday, but a fantastic day overall.
Yes, and yesterday was great. Today's looking great as well when it comes to sunshine and even some warmth as well. Spring, I feel like, is in the air. I heard the birds chirping.
Right.
The air smells different. It's a different time at this
doubt.
time of year. Look outside right now across upstate New York. Those conditions favoring dry weather. Clear skies, although a faint haze in the atmosphere due to high pressure moving over us. And a few lingering low-lying clouds out in western New York. But you notice those warming trends out to the west. That'll move its way east as we head throughout the morning and afternoon. So a warmer day is on tap today, as well as a dry one for the most part. But by this evening and overnight, a trailing cold front could fire up a few light sprinkles. So we're not entirely dry today, but it is at least more dry than what we've experienced in the recent weeks and recent months. So the next 12 hours, those temperatures go from the 20s and 30s up into the low 60s by this afternoon. Plenty of sun to share for the first half of the day today, and as we head throughout the evening and overnight, a few clouds pass over us, again a few sprinkles, and then a cool down by tomorrow. So this will be about 30 degrees cooler for the high tomorrow. How long will that cool down last? A full look at that forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. New this morning, Wall Street grab.
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Our photo of the day today takes us again to the mountaintops of the beautiful Adirondack Park, where we are looking at a view of Blue Mountain Lake. And look at this photo right here. The fire tower where this photo was taken was completely coated in ice, and in between that ice pile you can see the great view of the wintry scene, which is slowly going to fade away as warmer weather moves in. This photo was taken by Carson. Amazing photo right here, and a shout out to all of you living either in the foothills or in the Adirondacks watching us this morning. So if you would like to submit a photo like this one, if you have any photos from your hikes in the wintertime, I know Bill's a fan of it. Me, not so much. I don't like the cold and hiking up there. I need more ice shoes to even think about doing that. But if you like a photo to submit, you can send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Steve?
All right, thanks, Eric. An NBC News exclusive interview.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. In the day yesterday, it was sunny, it was warm, a welcome sight after a very cold, windy, and overall pretty unsettled weekend. But today, same story, plenty of sun and warmth on the way. Downtown Utica, a live view outside right now. Some faint haze in the skies early today as high pressure is keeping an inversion over us as we speak, but the temperature sitting at 29 this morning is expected to climb from here up into the 30s, 40s, eventually near 60 degrees. The radar across the board today looking mainly quiet, and this will be a common sight throughout the day today, aside from the passage of a potential sprinkle or two as a cold front rolls through today. In fact, here's a look at the bigger picture temperatures across all of the Northeast and even the Great Lakes areas. Now notice today, it's a bit of a warm one. We'll see that cold front work through tonight. Temperatures dip down to the 30s and 20s, some spots even teens, but then it's a short-lived cold stretch. A slow warming trend moves back in again as we wrap up the work week. But back to today, temperatures approaching near 60 degrees, 20 degrees above our normal high of 40 this time of year. And with rain and snow chances non-existent, at least during much of the daytime or daylight hours. By the overnight, again, a sprinkle or two is possible. So with the nice weather today, it could be great to head out to the car wash and wash off all the sand, salt, and whatnot that winter has collected on your car, at least either the past few weeks or the past few months if you haven't gotten to it yet. And on our Skycast today, still plenty of sun throughout the afternoon. In the early evening, clouds begin to roll in. Temperatures will begin to fall and will go from the 60s down to the teens and 20s. So about a 40-degree temperature drop in a lot of the area. Then, by Wednesday, it's a quiet day, but a colder one. Temperatures in the 30s by noontime, in the upper 30s nearing 40 degrees by the evening. And then as we head into Wednesday night, we could see the arrival of a low pressure system that could bring rain and snow. Primarily some scattered snow showers, although the impacts look to be negligible. The snow will have a hard time sticking on some surfaces. But following that, so we're back into the 40s again by Thursday, 50s by Friday, and wintertime overall heading into St. Patrick's Day weekend, beginning to lose out and warmth moving back in. The temperatures likely for the parade sitting in the 40s and 50s, a high of 64 on Saturday. Widespread rain rolls through on Sunday, and then of course for St. Patrick's Day itself, looks to be a high of 48 with cloudy skies. And I'm trying to think of an analogy. It's April showers, May flowers, March, I would say March winds, March clouds. I don't know.
Well, March is a mixed bag of everything.
Yeah,
that's
everything
part of
takes place
That's
in
part of
March.
the challenge. But all right, no, should be a good weekend. Hopefully, everything holds true that way. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, SUNY Poly was the site of the National Civics Bee Region 25, and the news begins right now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And good morning. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And we've got a lot to get to this morning, but we want to start with a check of the Storm Tracker 2 forecast. And a little bit chillier this morning than it was yesterday at this time, but again, the results are going to be very favorable.
You're not going to mind what happens this afternoon. We're back into the 60s or near 60 degrees with plenty of sun, so looking forward to that. But yes, early this morning, it is colder than yesterday morning, so you're going to be waking up to temperatures in the low 20s, or I should say upper 20s, low 30s. But if you look out to western New York, this is what's approaching us later on today. It's already 50 degrees in Buffalo, and it's dry out, and the winds aren't too strong, and on top of that, the sunshine will slowly move in as the morning progresses. So just bear with the early morning cold. There's warmer weather on the way. The radar right now looking quiet here across central New York, and today, as you head out, you might need to grab that sweater at least early in the morning, but grab those sunglasses and take off that sweater as you head out of work today. We're looking at highs approaching near 60 for the first time all year long, and in fact, probably the first time in 3 or 4 months we've hit 60 degrees. So enjoy the nice weather today. It does cool down tonight. I'm just being the bearer of cold news, at least early today. It cools down tonight, but we're back into the 50s, potentially 60s by the weekend. But before that, there could be some snow potential here and there. We'll explain exactly when and how much in that full forecast. Steve?
Yeah, I didn't think winter was thrown in the towel just yet.
Not yet.
Right. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, new overnight, the Russian military says air defense.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise, everyone, on this Tuesday. It was a beautiful day yesterday, and if you were a fan of it, well, you've got even warmer temperatures today and a lot of sunshine to go with it as well. A look at the CommuteCast heading out the door this morning. First off, a live look at these road conditions across the area and, of course, dry weather. Temperatures hovering right below the freezing point, so watch out for some patches of ice that have formed due to these colder temperatures. But, of course, main roads are treated, should be okay. Along with that, too, even more snowmelt is expected this afternoon, so some area roadways could get a little bit on the damp side. The traffic tracker showing no incidents to report of across pretty much all of central New York early today. Great news. We love seeing quiet conditions on that traffic tracker in the morning. And on top of that, the radar also looking dry. We'll expect dry conditions for this morning. Plenty of sunshine and temperatures quickly climbing from the 20s and 30s up into the 40s, 50s, nearing 60 degrees by the evening hours before clouds increase and temperatures dip tonight. We're going to be looking at a cold day tomorrow, but it's short-lived. We'll tell you when it warms back up again in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. Officials have determined the cause of a wild...
Well, your day. Watch for the Storm Tracker 2 CommuteCast and be ready for your drive to and from work. The Storm Tracker 2 CommuteCast is brought to you by the Pratt Munson College of Art and Design. Visit Pratt Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity.
The latest Storm Tracker 2 weather updates all day on KTV+.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone, on this Tuesday. The time now is 6:17, and yesterday it was sunny, it was warm, it was a fantastic day. Expect similar conditions today. In fact, look outside right now. It's a dry start. A few less clouds in the sky this morning compared to yesterday, but it is, although a little bit on the cooler side. 28 degrees, a temperature officially at Griffiths and Rome. East-southeast wind of 7 miles per hour. And this south wind will drag some warmer temperatures across our region throughout the day today. Along with those warmer temperatures, high pressure still in place, keeping things quiet across the Mohawk Valley. And by tonight, a trailing cold front will likely cool things down. In fact, here's a look at the bigger picture temperature trend across pretty much all the Great Lakes region. So here we are, that warming trend today. Now by tonight, here comes that cold front. Those temperatures drop, but it's temporary. We're back into the 40s by Thursday and 50s by Friday. So a brief cool down, but longer term trends heading into the weekend show more favorable temperatures in the 50s and 60s. So throughout the day today, high temperatures about 20 degrees above average. Along with this warm temperature trend, rainfall non-existent, at least during the daylight hours today. However, winds a little bit more on the windy side compared to yesterday. This is more of a south wind, which will be a warmer wind than usually those from the north that bring in that cold Canadian air. But still, with the dry conditions and warm temperatures today, it'd be great to go out and wash off all the grime off the car from the winter season. Still, we're not done with winter weather just yet. Don't let your guard down. Don't take your snow tires off. Again, it is still early March. We've had snowstorms as late as mid-April, so we don't want to bring in a bad luck charm here when it comes to more snow. But at least for the near term, things look warm and more on the dry side. So our skycast today, a quiet one for the most part, a passing sprinkle possible in the evening and overnight as a cold front rolls through. Temperatures tonight, cold in the teens and 20s, rebounding into the 30s by the afternoon, 40s in some spots, but increasing clouds. And a few chances for a few flurries and light sprinkles overnight into early Thursday. But that's our best shot for snowfall for the near term. We're back into the 40s and 50s by Thursday and Friday. And then by Saturday and Sunday, look at this, we're in the 60s. And along with that, too, it's going to be dry for the most part on Saturday. Great news for parade viewers for the St. Patrick's Day parade. And, of course, following that for St. Patrick's Day itself on Monday, a high of 48. Feeling very March-like, or at least very spring-like heading into the weekend.
Yeah, and hopefully we can keep that trend going. Thanks a lot, Eric. More than 200 concerned healthcare workers in Community 25, and the news rolls along right now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And a good Tuesday morning to you. Thank you for joining us this half hour. I'm Steve McMurray.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
Let's start this half hour with a check of that Storm Tracker 2 forecast, and you're going to like it. There's your tease.
Yes.
You're going to like it. Cue Eric.
Yes, and then that's been the case yesterday. It was so warm out, it was sunny, and we're looking at even warmer temperatures today. So if you were a fan of yesterday's weather, open those windows. I caved. I opened my window yesterday, allowed in some of that fresh air. It got a little cold. I had to close it, but at least had fresh air in my apartment.
No doubt. Take advantage of it.
Yes. Out there this morning, again, it is a colder start today compared to yesterday. We begin in the 20s in parts of central New York and the Mohawk Valley. So with that in mind, there could be some icy patches on untreated surfaces. Just a heads up, watch out for some icy spots. But besides that, we're back into the 30s, 40s, eventually nearing 60 this afternoon. As you take a look out near Buffalo, that's where, of course, those higher temperatures are reported early this morning. The radar right now indicating quiet weather all across central New York and throughout the day today. I would recommend grabbing a sweater or maybe a light winter jacket this morning, but by this afternoon, you won't need it at all. The sun is shining. Grab those sunglasses, take off the sweater, and enjoy the warmer weather today. Because as we head into tonight, into tomorrow, things begin to cool down again. We bottom out in the 20s and teens in some parts overnight and early tomorrow, and pretty much spending most of the day tomorrow in the 30s. But the longer trend this week looks toward a 40, 50, potentially 60-degree return by the end of the week into the weekend. We have a full look at that forecast in the minutes ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. New this morning, Wall Street grappling with
Facility in the region, go.
Welcome back, everyone, on this Tuesday. Our photo of the day today takes us into the Adirondacks. It's an amazing photo submitted to us of the fire tower view of the wintry scene out in the distance, taken at Blue Mountain Lake. And this is, of course, submitted by Carson. And just a heads up, wintertime ends in roughly 9 days. March 20th officially begins springtime. And of course, we're going to throw back some of the amazing winter photos we were submitted over the past few weeks. Again, we received so many that now with the snow thawing, we have a time to showcase the best photos that were submitted that we haven't showcased yet over the past couple of weeks. So you might still see some snowy photos submitted on our photo of the day that might still be in locations that don't see any snow anymore. But a big thank you to the submission. And if you would like to submit your own, you can send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Steve?
Eric, thanks. An NBC News exclusive, an interview with
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. After a beautiful day yesterday, we might see almost a carbon copy today. Now, we might also see a few sprinkles later on in the evening, but we'll focus more on the early part of the day, which, as we take a live look outside right now, plenty of clear skies. A great shot of the morning twilight out in the eastern sky early this morning. And beyond that, temperatures this morning also starting out a little bit on the cool side. This will warm up quickly, though, as a south wind continues to move in. For now, it's an east-southeast wind of 7 miles per hour, but that'll shift to a more south wind within the next few hours. Live look at the Ortful Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Things are quiet today, at least for much of the day today. An approaching cold front that'll cool down temperatures temporarily will also bring with it the potential for an isolated sprinkle or two. But you can see here, it's a warm one today. Then we can see that cold front move through. It'll bring those temperatures down into the 20s and even teens overnight, back into the 30s again by tomorrow. And then as we head into Thursday, we're back into the 40s, 50s, and eventually 60s by the weekend, as all this warm air down here will move its way north and east gradually by the end of the week. But we have an early taste of this weekend's weather, this weekend's warm-up. High of 61, potentially 62 degrees today, and about 20 degrees above average. And along with that, too, aside from that sprinkle in the late evening, things are looking dry for the entire daylight hours. On top of that, winds will be a little more significant today, a stronger south wind between 10 and 15 miles per hour. And with the nice dry weather today, it might be a good time to go out and wash off all the grime off the car from the winter season if you haven't done it just yet, or if you've done it recently and the recent snowfall has packed back on that sand and salt. So again, great weather today. Maybe not so much tomorrow with the cold weather, but we warm back up again by Thursday. And so to our Skycast today, high temperatures climb into the upper 50s, low 60s. Then that passing cold front cools things down into the 20s and teens tonight before we rebound back into the 30s by the afternoon tomorrow, potentially low 40s depending on location. And then tomorrow night, the potential for a few scattered flurries and light sprinkles. That's our best shot for snow for the next 5 to 7 days as we climb back into the 40s and 50s by Thursday and Friday. And take a look at this, St. Patrick's Day Parade on Saturday, high of 64. Parade time will likely be in the 40s, potentially low 50s, which would be great weather to bring out the kids and enjoy the wonderful festivities that the parade provides. Lots of candy as well.
Yep.
A lot of people throwing out candy.
Yep.
I ran out of candy the past few years.
Yeah, we always do.
I have to budget it, but it's so hard. You know, all the kids are asking for candy, and maybe 1 or 2 more lollipops get thrown in there as well.
There you go. We'll see if we can up that volume.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, SUNY Poly was the site of the first check of the forecast, and Eric is here with that, and a gorgeous day out so far.
Yeah, we're pushing 60 degrees out there right now in the Mohawk Valley. In fact, look at those temperatures as we speak. It's already 60 in Watertown, 67 in Dansville. It's almost 70 degrees in parts of the Finger Lakes. So we are talking about a very warm afternoon for early March standards. And to give you an idea of how long it's been since we hit 60 degrees, well, you don't actually have to go back too far. Late December, December 29th to be exact, we hit 60 degrees. Those of you who remember, we had a white Christmas followed by a major thaw. All the snow melted, and then it came with that polar plunge in January and February. So we had an early taste of spring in the beginning of winter, and then we didn't look back as winter showed definitely its full force in parts of the area as we headed throughout January and February. A live look in Cooperstown right now. You can see here plenty of sunshine and dry weather, 58 officially in the town itself, and the radar looking entirely quiet as of now. But by this evening and tonight, things are going to cool down. We got a cold front rolling through, so though we are in the 60s, we'll be down into the 30s, eventually 20s overnight into early tomorrow. We get a cold day for your Wednesday, but it's short-lived. We are tracking that warm-up in what follows in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. Officials in Little
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are looking at a very warm day out there today. Plenty of sunshine. It is just fantastic out. If you have any plans outdoors at all, this is a great day to do it. Go for a walk in the afternoon, or take your dogs out for a walk, go for a run, enjoy time outside, maybe even grill as well. Now, as we head into the evening, it might not be nearly as warm, though. The sun will fade into a few wispy clouds and then potentially a few sprinkles. But at least for now, gorgeous blue skies across the board, nearly cloudless skies, and a temperature of 58. As I mentioned this morning, that wind is going to shift more to the south, and here it is, a south wind of 9 miles per hour. So when you have a south wind, even though the winds are on the more breezy side, feels like temperature still sits at 58. It's a warm wind, along with the fact the sun is very strong and shining as we speak. The radar right now is entirely dry, but as a matter of fact, as we zoom out on the radar and satellite, here are the changes that are going to take place later on today. We are in the midst of a warm front. This half-sun graphic right here, that's that air pushing north. So we have a south wind gathering some warm air and moving its way north. A trailing cold front is pushing this way. So beyond this front here is cold air. And we can actually see the line of clouds and rain and even some snow showers right along that in parts of Canada. And as that moves through, those temperatures will fall throughout the overnight and early tomorrow. We can see it take place right here. This is not a normal cool down with no frontal boundary. This is a cool down when you have a front moving in, bringing in colder air. We go from the 60s down into the 30s and 20s, a near 40-degree temperature drop in the span of 12 hours. Now, thankfully, I wouldn't call it anything of a flash freeze since a lot of that snow is melting, but also drying with all that sunlight. But with a warm air and sunshine today, it might be great to go out and maybe wash off all the snow or the rock salt, any sand that's on your car from the roads over the winter time if you want to do that today. But on our Skycast today, here's that warm air. Here's that cold front pushing through. Now watch these temperatures free fall quickly down into the teens and 20s by early tomorrow. It's going to be a cold morning tomorrow, so bundle up. And then following that, we warm up into the 30s and potentially low 40s by tomorrow afternoon with cloudy skies. Not going to be anything as warm or as sunny as today. But following that, we'll see the arrival of a few spotty snow showers heading into the overnight into early Thursday morning. The latest trends have it pushing more toward the capital region. I don't think this impacts us all too much, but again, I can't rule out a flurry or two as that system passes us. But that's our best shot for snow for the near term. As you look beyond Wednesday, we actually warm up even more. Thursday, 46 the high, 57 on Friday. St. Patrick's Day parade, likely in the 40s and low 50s for our high of 64 on Saturday. Rain showers on Sunday, and then St. Patrick's Day itself, a high of 48 on Monday. So we're entering more spring-like weather. And as long as we're in the 40s and 50s for St. Patrick's Day, the parade on Saturday, no excuse not to go out.
I was going to say, let's exactly. Still a few days out, but man, let's hope that
Yes.
that holds true. That'd be fantastic. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, a tanker and cargo vessel here's and head to the weather, well, not to the Weather Center because you're sitting right here, but Eric is here with a first look at the forecast, and a beautiful day out today. That's one of those top 10 days you hear about.
Oh, easily. And of course, I mean, with the top 10 days, we only have 10 of those in a year. I think I issued more of them than 10 last year, but I didn't mind because it's so
exactly
a lot of great days. But
nobody's going to call you on it. It's all right.
Don't worry about it. If it was more than 10 days, it's fine. But yeah, it's a warm day out there today, and look at those current conditions. Yes, it's a beautiful one, approaching near 60. 65 in Syracuse, 60 in Watertown, and 67 balmy degrees in Dansville, south of the Finger Lakes. And when it comes to 24 hours ago, yes, yesterday was warm, but today's even warmer. Nearly 20 degrees warmer at this hour compared to yesterday in Watertown, 13 in Rome, Hamilton, 14 Syracuse, and only 8 degrees warmer in Dansville, by the way. But you can see the huge increases in areas to the north that saw that warmth. Live look at Oneonta right now. Sun is shining. A great view from the Hartwick campus here on the tower cam right here. And of course, the campus of SUNY Oneonta in the background, also appreciating a very nice day out there today. The radar entirely quiet all across central New York and the Mohawk Valley. And as we head throughout the day today, well, a cold front rolls through, and that'll drop those temperatures down below freezing tonight and likely in the 20s and teens. So enjoy the warmth while we have it today. It's going to be a cooler one tomorrow, but will that cold weather last? We have a full look at that forecast in a few minutes. Steve?
Eric, thanks. No one was injured after a crane toppled over.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are looking at a beautiful day today, similar to yesterday, although a little bit warmer. In fact, a look at the current conditions outside right now. Gorgeous blue skies, nothing notable weather-wise, aside from the fact that a lot of that snow has melted. Take a look at the Route 5 here, or at least Oriskany Street facing the east. A lot of exposed grass here. And on top of that, the temperature sits at 58 officially in Rome. Now, this temperature is updated every hour. However, we have our Mesonet temperatures sent into us by the New York State Mesonet, updated every 5 minutes. And Westmoreland and Herkimer are now above 60 degrees, 61 in Westmoreland and 60 degrees in Herkimer as we speak. So if we hit 60 in Rome, this will be the first time we've hit 60 since late December with that late, I would say late December, early winter warm-up. The radar right now is entirely dry. Radar and satellite also looking quiet in the near term, but as you look ahead to tonight and eventually tomorrow, we've got some colder weather on the way. We are in the midst of a warm front, so we got all this warm air lifting in from the south. However, this cold front follows behind it. We actually see the line of snow and rain right along that border there as it continues to push its way south and to the east. In fact, let's press play on it so you actually can see the movement of that front as it slowly moved its way down. And throughout the day today, we can actually see what happens. This is not a normal cooling trend with no frontal boundary impact. You go from the 60s down into the 20s and teens tonight, nearly a 40-degree temperature drop. And although it's a huge decrease in temperature, we're not expecting a whole lot in terms of rain or snow. Matter of fact, only a few sprinkles are possible across the area. But with the sunshine and warmth out there today, it could be great weather to go out and wash off the car. I know mine has plenty of sand and salts and probably needs to get washed off. So I know some of you might be able to do it. Great weather for that today. A little colder tomorrow. Maybe not the best day for it, but by Thursday, we warm back up again. And so in our Skycast today, temperatures peak in the 50s and 60s. Then we cool down into the 30s, eventually 20s and teens tonight with that north wind, a complete 180 compared to what we experience or are experiencing right now. Then throughout the day Wednesday, peaks of sunshine turn to mainly overcast skies and highs in the upper 30s, low 40s. Wednesday night, we could see a passing snow shower, although most of it is trending more toward the capital region. But that's really our best bet for snow for the near term. Looking ahead, Thursday, a high of 46, Friday, a high of 57, and this weekend, I know the past few weekends have been cold, they've been windy, they've been snowy, but here we are with a warming trend. I do think, actually, I know for certain we are definitely not reaching 20s, teens, and polar plunge this weekend, but in fact, quite the opposite. So if you are planning on heading out to the parade, so far the weather looks good.
Yep.
Cloudy skies and temperatures during parade time likely in the 40s and 50s.
All right, so have fun, be careful.
Yes.
In that order. All right, thanks. I know, I was probably in the other, be careful and have fun. I knew what I meant.